Awesome. Hi and hello. Welcome to the podcast, Evgenia. I'm so excited to have you on. We had tea a couple months back, and as we were chatting, I was thinking about our mindset series and thinking about the ways we can set ourselves up for success. And everything you were saying, whatever you were putting down, I was picking up, and I was so here for it. Um, I would love for you to do a brief intro of what you're an expert in, and then we're gonna jump in because I have some questions that I can't wait to hear you answer.
Of course. Well, thank you. Thank you for having me today. And I'm also excited to have this conversation, to be here today with you. And yes, my name is Evgenia Baikova, and I'm certified coactive coach. That means that I'm trained to help people overcome obstacles, become more productive, more resourceful, and resilient. I also certify with Gallup StrengthsFinder, and that helps me to help you discover your strengths and use them intentionally. So this is what I do. And well, my background is pure human resources. So I ex-corporate expert. I used to work in different industries, and then I decided that okay, now it's time to do something which is bigger than what I used to do, that I can help more people and I can make this world a better place. So that's why I founded my own business, and I do coaching and consulting. And the name of my company is Fulfillment Coaching and Consulting.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And I mean, let's start a little bit with where you've been as we look at where we're headed, because I think having that background in human resources, like you saw day to day people coming to work. And I think depending on where you let your mind go and that mindset you allow yourself to have before going into work can be really impactful, not only for you, but those around you. And so, just from that perspective, how have you seen mindset in the workplace both positively and negatively impact team dynamics?
And that's a great question because, mindset is a big thing, right? And it depends on the organization you are with, and it depends on the leader who are around you and who are leading the team and who are leading the organization. So, I used to work for global organizations. Of course, we had the vision, mission statements, and everything, and but also how to walk the talk, right? That was the task of our leaders. And you can clearly see the difference in their mindset. Someone were just, following the directions that were set by headquarters, and someone added something personal into that. And when you feel that personal touch, you see that and you can feel that the atmosphere is different
Mhm.
in the organization. The culture is thriving because it wasn't just about the words. It was about fulfillment. It was about getting things done through motivation, through growth mindset. And those type of leaders, they encourage you to be better at what you are doing. They encourage you to stretch yourself where you need that development. Yeah, so mindset is a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. What is it? So we'll start from the top and kind of like see that trickle effect down. Starting with leaders, how can a leader maybe identify or recognize that they need to do a little bit of shift or reflection on their own place of
Hmm.
mind?
Yeah, interesting question. I think that we all, as leaders, we do have our own path to that, our own way. Sometimes we're lucky to have mentors who can highlight that, yes, you need some change. But sometimes it's coming from your experience, from your life experience. And you see that, okay, so the way you used to go, or the way you were doing things is not working, is not working anymore, or the habits and how you define success doesn't serve you any longer. So, and that could be a pivotal moment in your life. So sometimes I see that leaders, they think about, okay, so what should I do differently in order to be a better leader, in order to show up differently? How can I better lead my team? Or how can I understand the team and the people who are in this team, who are around me. And, from my experience, I saw that when leaders become leaders of leaders,
Mm,
right? So when you are not just leading the team and you have some direct reports, but when you are becoming a leader of those who were leading teams, and you are not that attached to a day-to-day job, like you are not doing something by your hands, you are more strategic, you are providing guidance, you are the architect, right? So, and at that moment they challenged more, right? So how to be effective with leaders who are leading teams, how to ripple the effect of you being a good leader, how you can teach them, how you can develop them, how you can lead them in coaching manner so that they are finding answers, right? So that you're not providing them with solutions, but how you can, by doing things, by being an example, how you can develop them too.
that's incredible, and I love that leader of leaders because I think sometimes we can be very, I don't know if the right word is tunnel visioned when
Mhm.
we think about, like, how we lead, because then we're thinking about our direct impact, but as our team grows and as we want to grow the people around us, we're not trying to grow them into doing their job better, we're wanting to
Mhm.
grow them as individuals, and that means growing them into leaders.
Mhm.
Um, what has it been like to see that click as you've been in coaching with your clients for them to realize that it's not just the impact they have in their immediate
Mhm.
space, but kind of that ripple effect of what you were talking about?
Yes, you know that it requires a lot of reflection, and it seems like people who are mindful about what they do and how they lead, they are good at that. But also, it should be kind of a habit, and also depends on who led you, who was your leader, who was your boss, or who was your mentor. Because, well, sometimes we're getting great things from great leaders, but also we're picking up something from those who are not that great, right? And we are modeling ourselves as leaders. But also, again, it's coming from your experience. You see, okay, so this is working, this is not working, right? And that reflection helps leaders to think about what they need to change in order to be more effective, in order to be more impactful, in order to be um, like um, like a visioneer who is removing blocks that are on the way of their leaders, of those who are leading teams under their leadership, right? So it is a kind of a growth that can come with experience, or that can come with the influence of others who are around you. And even some books also can help you. Or if you are observing, if you are listening, if you are following some other leaders, you also can pick that easily.
Mm. I love that, and I appreciate the references. If you have any favorites, please send them my way, and I'll include them in our interview notes after this. That is I love that, and it also encourages just, like, that continued learning because
Mhm.
we're never going to be done learning how to be a leader. You're
Yes.
always going to be working with someone different. You're always going to have all these different lived experiences that you need to be able to help lead and guide and help your team understand how to use those lived experiences to grow themselves.
And
So,
that's exactly about growth mindset, right? So that when you are saying that, okay, so you are growing together with your team, you're growing together with your organization, you are absolutely right. Because if you believe that you have everything in you and this is something which is fixed and stable,
mhm,
that's the fixed mindset, right? But when you think, when you see, okay, so the environment around me is changing, the world is changing dramatically, right? And drastically. So how can I follow, or how can I be ahead, right? So when you are in that mindset thing, everything is possible, right?
mhm,
And that's visible, that's noticeable. And people who are around you, they can feel that. And I just finished a call with a team, and we were talking about that a psychological atmosphere in their team, how they feel safe, right?
mhm,
So, how to create that, how to be there for your team, how to listen them actively, not just, being a speaker every day and providing them with guidance, right? So, leading is about learning too, right? And that's a constant, like, that's like a constant process,
mhm.
Hmm. Yes,
Agree.
100%.
Oh, that's so cool. And I don't think I've ever heard that differentiation of growth versus fixed mindset. I feel like I don't hear about fixed mindset as much. Do you mind? I know you kind of
Yeah,
touched on it. Do you mind?
yeah. Well, fixed mindset is a belief that everyone was born with some talents. And growth mindset is a belief that you can develop anything
Mm,
you want, like a skill, you can get knowledge and then you can apply the knowledge.
okay. Very cool. So, thinking of skills and strengths, let's talk about the Gallup
Mhm.
strengths and all that is part of it. And I know we don't have enough time to go fully in depth, and I know that getting time with you and having you come into the team is the best way to really get the most out of that experience. But
Yeah.
I'd love to hear from you. What is the biggest piece of understanding your strengths? Like what is the biggest or key takeaway after you understand your strengths? What do you do then?
Yes, and that's the perfect question because I just finished a call and we were talking about the team superpowers. So that's why I have some numbers in front of me, and I will definitely share that numbers with you. So people who use their strengths daily, they are 3 times more likely to report having an excellent quality of life. Isn't
Mm,
that amazing?
that's amazing.
Yeah,
My
and another
word.
thing is that they are 6 more times likely to feel engaged at work because they know who they are, they know what they're doing the best, and how they can use their strengths, right? And that knowledge allows them to choose jobs, to choose career path that they will not just thrive, but they will have joy and fulfillment too. So this is about individuals, but also if we talk about teams. So the teams that focus on strengths, they experience up to 18% increase in productivity. That's a huge number, right?
Huge.
And up to 23% higher employee engagement and up to 18% higher overall performance. So they are working better, they are more effective, they're more engaged, and turnover is not that big in those teams. And they have that sense of belonging too.
Mm,
So this is like in short about the strengths finder, but also, I am a big believer in self awareness. When you know your strengths, when you know how you are wired, easy for it's easy to make decisions, and your decisions are at better quality, right? So you are making decisions that serves you better, and also you are more, again, you are more effective and you are more satisfied with your life, right? When you know who are you, when you know your strengths, you easily see that strengths in others, so you can explain
mm,
to yourself why people are doing certain things and not doing certain things.
yeah.
Yeah. Like for example, I ran that report for my kids. So
Mm,
now it's everything is clear. And also they've got some liberation too. Like, they were concerned about their relationship building skills, but now they know that okay, this is my strengths, right?
mhm.
So yeah.
Ah, that's incredible. And I remember we had
Mhm.
talked about that briefly, and I think understanding that from a younger age can dispel some of those anxieties,
Yep.
especially like going through high
Mhm.
school or going into
Mhm.
college. Maybe that fear is because we just don't understand ourselves yet. And so I love that you did that with your kids because I think that that's so incredible. What a perk they
Yes.
have being their mom and kind of coaching her.
Oh, thank you, thank you. And you know that I just shared that I did it for my kids, and when I do that for my clients, they are getting that aha moments, like, well, now I understand why I only have two friends, because usually they think that, well, something is wrong with me, but
Mhm.
actually this is the strengths, so that you can be there for those two friends. You can they can trust you, you can lean on them, right? So that like you have everything but just in very close circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And other things like how Gallup talks about weaknesses. So the key thing, the core in the strengths finder is that the strengths, they are neutral, right? So when we are talking about top 10 strengths, I usually pay attention to not considering the bottom 10 as your weaknesses, because this is not about that. And I like some questions Gallup suggests you to use to identify if your strengths actually are your weaknesses. So how to understand that the strength is so strong that actually it goes in a way to success, right? For example, I love this example, achiever. If your achiever is very high, but you are not about the quality, you're just about checking the box, well, is it a strength or is it the weakness? And how you can pair it with another strength so that it balanced, right? Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool, and that's a great point of, like, pairing them together, so it's not
Mhm.
one only exists and the other can't together. Like, I think that's a really interesting point, and that also feels so
Mhm.
abundance-centric too, because it doesn't have to be so defined. It gets to be more than and with one
Yep.
another.
Yeah.
I love that so
Yeah.
much.
And in that example, I can bring just from the conversation that I had today in the morning, we were talking about personal development goals. And one participant shared with me that, well, my execution is very strong, but well, I cannot complete the things. Like, well, I'm starting things, but I'm not getting it done. So what to do? And we were looking through her strengths, and she has a very strong belief. So, and I asked her a question. Okay, so what's your belief about getting results? And she was like, well, this is very important.
Mhm,
Okay, how you can use this belief, which is very strong, to
mhm,
help your achiever get things done. And she was like, oh, now I know how I can do that. So
mhm,
you see how knowing your strengths and pairing them, or that creating intentional relationship between them can help to be successful, to help be more effective and get that fulfillment and joy.
mhm. I love that. What do you think the biggest intersection of mindset and strengths and weaknesses together? Like, where do you think that piece of understanding comes together in the most significant way?
Excellent question. I think that they are coming together at the point when you're getting thoughts,
Mm,
right? So, how can you manage your thoughts so that you are getting right feelings and that feelings are generating your actions, right? That actions actually will bring you results. Like how you can change what you allow to be here
mhm,
to influence the results,
mm,
right? So when you are self-aware, you know yourself very well, right? You know what are you capable of, and you know what are your challenges are. So you are getting different thoughts. And mindset is all about thinking of yourself, right? It's thinking about, okay, I have this setback, but this is temporary, for example, right? I'm not a failure because, well, now I just need to learn how to do that in a different way.
mhm. Yeah, I love that. That is so cool. Um, as we get close to wrapping up, what advice would you give for a leader looking to get started in shifting their mindset?
Well, as I mentioned before, I'm a big believer and a big fan of self awareness. And I believe that this is the starting point. This is the basic thing that you need to understand about yourself. And when you know yourself,
Mhm,
you can mm, you can understand what motivates you, right? You can understand what drives you. You can understand the people around you, and that will help you to be more effective. That will help you to be seen as a leader, to show up as a leader. So yes, self-awareness is the starting point to get better at leading people. And
amazing.
by the way, I don't believe in that you can separate personal from professional. So leadership and leading, it's not about just leading people in teams. It's about how you are leading your own life.
Mhm. I love that, and I so agree. Our internship program, we talk a lot about
Mhm.
showing up as your full self in a professional setting includes being like who you are authentically to you, and those identities often come together. And when you have that understanding, you can do it confidently. And I think that's such a beautiful thing to
Yeah,
be able to do and live each
exactly.
day.
Mhm.
So, as our leaders and our listeners are building their self awareness and starting this journey, what is the best way for them to reach out to you, to start a conversation, and explore having you work with them and their teams?
Mhm. Well, it's easy to find me on LinkedIn, and I think that we can share my contact details somewhere. So you can write me a message, and my email is very simple. It's evgenia@fcc.coach, and we can start this conversation and see how I can help you to become a better leader.
Amazing. We will drop your email in our podcast description, as well as here on YouTube in the comments, as well as your LinkedIn. Thank you so much for joining and sharing so much incredible information with us. I can't wait to dig deeper with you.
Thank you, Arianna. Thank you. Thank you for having me today.